What kind of form do you have on that planet? What shape did you take?
I'm gray. I'm like a pale, but on a gray tint, but I'm pale.
Yeah, pale gray. So you're a being?
So, yeah.
Yeah. And what other features can you see about yourself? So you're gray. Your skin is gray?
It's like light gray.
Light gray. Yeah, white gray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Long fingers.
Long fingers. How many fingers do you have as this gray being?
I think 4.
4 fingers.
Something like
And are you small? Are you tall? How would that be?
I'm small.
You're small. And would you say your skin is smooth?
Yes.
Yes. And how would you describe the outline of your body? So you told me you had 4 fingers, long fingers, you're gray. How is your head? Do you have a head?
Yes.
Yeah. How would you describe that?
It's bigger.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah,
Yeah.
very big.
Yeah. Big skull.
Big skull. Small face, big skull.
What is the shape of your skull?
Like an egg.
Yeah. Sort of elongated?
Yeah.
Yeah, egg-shaped.
Have big eyes.
Big eyes.
The way I see is different. I see with wider peripherals.
Yeah.
Like I can see more on my left and right than I would in my human form.
Yes.
And I see different colors. Colors are different for me.
Oh. How is that? Do you see different spectrum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see more colors?
More colors.
Wow.
I see, if you see a rose in this life, and
In the human life?
in the human life, it's one color, but with them, they see every shade. There are so many different shades within that one color, but they can see it.
Beautiful.
They can see through the objects as well.
Yes.
They can see like the inside, so even if they see another being, they can actually see what's happening in the body.
Yes.
They're highly intuitive.
Yeah.
And they can feel things that they can't see behind them.
Multisensory
Yeah.
perception.
They don't speak much. They don't talk much. They talk telepathically.
Yes. Do they have a mouth though?
Yes.
Something like a mouth?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And they know how to speak, but that's not their only form of communication.
No, they prefer not to.
Yeah, it's like they talk less than we do.
Yeah. Okay. And do you take food for sustenance? What kind of life force do you need as the
sun.
gray?
The sun and they don't need food.
No. So no solid food.
No.
No. So you take life force from the sunlight, and what else?
I'm getting something like plants.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Could you see the plant? What kind of plant is it?
I don't know the name.
That's okay. Can you describe it to me?
It's like from the leaves, and they're long, thick leaves.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, if you peeled it open, there's like something inside that is very, very good for the body.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And what color is this plant?
I'm getting that it's green and that it's also, there are red ones.
So they exist in a green and a red form.
Yes.
And so you kind of peel open the leaf.
Yes.
And then there is a substance inside and you eat this?
Yeah, and not eat it. I don't know what we do with it. Maybe we eat it. But there also we get this from the stems. I get that we collect them and we use them in our labs or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have laboratories.
Yes.
And what do you do in your laboratories? Let's go and explore that.
We're doing genetic modifications.
Yes. So you're all advanced geneticists.
Yes, and we believe that this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
To advance different species across different planets.
Yes. And what do you do with those leaves in your lab?
We use the liquid which is inside.
Yeah.
To do some sort of a chemical reaction.
Oh.
That will help us in terms of energizing ourselves. It's like something to do with photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Something to do with like the sun's, the plant, the liquid in the plant is something that can provide us with really good energy.
Because it's like the synthesized form of sun energy.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like the sun, it absorbs the sunlight.
Yeah.
And then it turns it into something else, and that's really good for us.
Yeah, that nourishes you.
Yeah.
And how frequently do you take this substance? Every day, or do you do it regularly, or only a few times in your life?
Regularly.
Regularly, yeah. Okay. And so, as this gray being, are you, you said you were in a laboratory, so there must be others like you.
Yes.
Are there many?
There are 4.
There are 4. And so are they your family? How do you relate to the other beings?
They are in the lab with me.
Yeah. So you kind of work in a lab.
Yeah.
That's where you are.
But they don't call it work, they call it something else.
Oh.
It's like a word for cooperate rather than collaborate, cooperate. They don't use work.
Work, okay. It's just what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, and so do you have like family? Do you have a concept of parents? Mother, father?
Yes.
Yes?
But not like here.
No.
It's a lot more systematic.
Mm-hmm.
Like as if they almost didn't birth, like they didn't birth me. It's like everyone's kind of created through like synthetic, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're created in these tubes kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so futuristic almost.
Mm-hmm. You're very much advanced compared to humans.
Yes, so much more advanced.
Yeah, I get that. So they create new species in tubes.
Yes.
Like in vitro.
Yes.
Yes, in a lab. Okay. And then who are your parents then? Who would you consider your family?
I don't have family.
No. But do you relate to these other beings in your lab, your
Yes.
collaborators? Are you connected to them?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe everyone's your family.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so when you communicate, with the others, do you use a sort of name? Do you call each other a certain name or not?
Yes.
So what do they call you? When they call you, what do they call you?
Brangta.
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 Yes. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And when you call one of your collaborators, what do you call them?
Each of them have a different name.
Yeah.
Ewanka.
Ewanka.
Ogri is another name I got.
Which one?
Ogri.
Ogri. Excellent.
Their names.
Very good. And when you hear your name, what kind of feeling does that give you? Does it mean anything to you?
Yes, it's like my identity.
It is your identity. Okay. So is this gray being, how old would you say you are right now? Are you still young? Are you middle age? Are you old?
I think I'm young or middle age, but their years are different than ours.
Yes.
So they think we live really like short lives.
Yeah.
They live really long lives. They can live up to like 300 years.
Yes.
So if I'm 87, which I believe I am,
That means
I'm
you're still
still
young.
young.
Yeah, excellent. So you're still a young bee, a newbie.
Yeah.
Yes. And so in this life as the gray, can we explore your planet? How does your planet look like? Or where it is that you live, you're living, your environment. Can you describe it to me?
It's like half of the planet is rocky, and the other half is like grassish. And the planet doesn't have countries. They're one planet together.
Yeah, makes lots of sense.
They don't have like division like we do. They're so much more advanced. They even have like stations on different moons or something.
Yeah.
And they're in contact with other planets.
Yeah.
And it's like the more advanced species of this universe have like they're aware of each other, and they're aware of how connected all of these planets are to each other on a spiritual and on a physical level.
Excellent.
They have shortcuts through wormholes.
Yes.
And everything, their houses are very plain. Everything is very plain, very white, very clean.
So do you have a physical house or structure?
Yes.
And what shape are your homes?
Oval.
Oval. Oh, that sounds cute.
It's really cute. It's really cute. Oval. Yeah.
Do they have windows or openings?
Small ones, circular.
Yeah. And
not many though.
Okay, so let's go and explore your home, your white home. So you're inside your home. How does it look like on the inside?
White and silver.
White and silver.
They use they don't use plastic, they don't use like things that will deteriorate, they use more sustainable stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They have,
Like building materials in tune with their planet.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have like, there's like the bed doesn't even have a mattress on it.
Doesn't need to, maybe.
Maybe it doesn't need to, yeah. The houses are very small. It's like, but they're very, very high in technology.
Yes.
Like some houses you can even create transparency so that you can see outside everywhere, but outside they can't see in.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
Really cool. And so when you talked about your bed for a moment, does it mean that you lay down? Do you sleep? Does your species need sleep?
I don't think so, no.
No. So what is this bed for?
They still relax.
They relax.
Yeah.
So they lay down?
They lie down to relax.
Yeah.
They also lie down to connect.
Yeah. Yeah. And connect to what?
They're at a point where they understand that creator is them and they are creator. It's like a way to self-reflect, to connect to themselves.
Excellent. And so you in your dome-shaped home, do you live by yourself or are there others?
I live by myself.
Are there others that live with others?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you choose to live by yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is that? Do you think? Is that because you're still young?
Yes.
Yeah. And so is it maybe so that at a certain point you pair up with another being?
Yes.
How does that work? Tell me about that.
They don't have sex.
No.
It's like a unity, it's companionship.
Yes. And how does this happen? So how do you pair up with this other being? What makes you do that? What attracts you to the other?
Common interests, yeah. And yeah, similar, like common interests. What do they, and also how can they benefit each other?
Oh.
But it's very systematic.
And so would you say that this partnering up, is that compatible to love? What humans feel for their companion? No, it's different.
Very different.
It's on a more practical basis.
Yes.
Yes.
There's they lack passion.
They lack passion.
Yeah. Romance, they don't understand.
They don't understand that. No, no. Okay.
It's more primitive for them
Yeah.
to have sexual intercourse, for instance.
Yeah.
They find that something very fascinating that we do, very animalistic.
Yeah. So no sex then. Do you have gender?
Yes.
Yes. There's male and female?
For the most part, yes.
Is there another gender?
Some are male and female.
Oh, so you have beings. There are gray beings that have both genders.
Yeah.
How is that? How is that possible?
They carry both energies, both.
Is that by choice? Is that by design?
By design.
Well, why would you design that? What purpose does that have?
I'm getting that there's like a shift into evolving into one type being for them or something. And it's very like a small percentage that has both.
Okay. And do they carry this double gender for their entire existence? Or do they at some point choose one of the other and then become that?
Getting that they decide.
They decide. And then they can choose either one gender. And then they become that?
They shift into that.
They shift into that, okay. And how do you produce offspring? Like you said, you make them in the test tube?
Yes, they make them. And they grow them in these really large columns.
Oh. And then how are they birthed? Is there like a birthing moment?
Yes.
So they
drain the tube.
Yeah. Of all the liquid?
Of all the liquids. And they slowly, there's like a process where they release whatever it is that they breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's oxygen. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it is. I don't know.
Air.
Something
sort of
air. Yeah. And as they release the water, they integrate the air in a certain way, and there's another reaction they use, but they basically, it's like the alien. It's like it's a baby, but it's a lot more. It learns a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like I am seeing that it walks faster than a normal baby would.
Yeah.
It talks faster. It absorbs information faster.
Yes. They are born, if we could use that term, in a more advanced state.
Yeah.
Humans are birthed in a very primitive state.
Yes. And they say that they grow up faster.
Yeah.
Than humans and live longer, so they have more time to do things, whereas humans take longer to grow up.
Yeah.
And
accomplish less
in a smaller period of time.
Well, that's kind of good to hear.
Yeah.
It's a good perspective on things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. Wow, you're doing really well. Are you warm enough?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Yeah. So now I would like you to leave that scene behind and then move you to the most important day in the life of the grey being. I've moved you to the most important day in the life of the grey. What happens on that day? He dies. Oh, how did that happen?
He got killed when he was on another planet looking for a species to experiment on.
Yes.
They killed him.
Oh.
The intelligent life of that planet killed him, but they were way less intelligent than him.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah.
And how did they kill him?
It's a metallic sphere.
Yeah.
But it's not like arrows. It's like not a sphere. Sorry. It's like a long stick that's very pointed, but it's not primitive. It's not wooden. It's metallic, and it actually doesn't. You don't throw it. It launches, and it finds what target is supposed
Oh,
to be.
wow. That's quite advanced, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it penetrates the gray body,
Yes.
and then that's it. Exit. Yeah? Did you suffer when it happened?
It was a lot less painful than you would think.
Okay. Does
They
it go
have like blue blood or purplish blood or something, but it's like a different tint than red.
So they have something like blood,
They do.
and it's a different color. It's blue, purple.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a completely different color.
So they bleed.
They do.
Do you feel pain?
Not as much as humans.
It's okay. Does it go swift and fast?
Yes.
So you don't suffer very long.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens to your energy? What happens when you die as a gray? So your body dies. And what happens to you?
You step out of your body,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm even seeing that you start to slowly step out of your body even before the death actually takes place.
Yeah.
And you witness the death. And then you see a really powerful light,
Mm-hmm.
and you go into it.
Yeah. What color is that light?
It's pure white.
Pure white.
It's like a white that no one has ever seen before. It's so
Wow.
like bright is not even the right word to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So then you go into this light, and then what happens?
You're in like endless space,
Yeah.
and you're one with the universe, and you kind of don't want to leave.
Yeah, I get that. So it's a very, very nice feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, why have I not been here always? Like, why did I want to stay there?
Yeah. Does it sort of feel like home?
It is.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. Well, have a moment longer. Just linger in that wonderful feeling. You deserve it. Does it feel like you have emotion? Like, are you sort of floating, or are you stagnant? Are you still?
You're floating.
You're floating. Yeah.
But it's like that's normal. It's like in that place.
Yeah.
It's not even called floating.
It's
like
the natural state of being.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
like you don't have anything that you hold on to. There's no solid. All of that does not exist.
Yeah.
There's no limitations.
Yes. I get it.
There's no such thing as space, like space-time.
No. Excellent. So for a moment, when you look back at this, at your purple pink energy in the enchanted garden, what would you say that was?
My soul.
Yeah.
It's my soul.
And so,
A part of my soul.
yeah. And another part was in the gray body.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's in different places.
Yeah. At the same time.
Yeah.
Parallel.
Yes.
Concurrent existences.
Yes.
Excellent. Very beautiful. Yeah. So now, while you're in this wonderful divine state, I would like to take this moment to invite in that which we call higher self. So I would like to speak to the higher self of Stephanie. Yes. Are you here?
Yes.
Thank you. We are always very honored and very happy when we have this opportunity. Higher self, may I call you higher self?
Yes.
Yes. Why have you brought Stephanie here today to have this experience?
To make a shift.
To make her shift.
And to make others shift.
Yes.
To implement change.
To implement change. And what does she need to shift into?
More evolved beings.
Yes, more evolved being. Thank you. Higher self, from which dimension or plane are you? Who am I addressing? On what dimension are you?
The fifth.
The fifth. Excellent. Higher self, you just showed us different lives, different existences. Why did you show us the life in this enchanted garden with the animals?
To show the different states of being.
Mm-hmm.
To show the concept that you are nowhere and everywhere.
Yeah. The concept that you are nowhere and everywhere. Ah, excellent.
And that you have the power to go and do whatever you please, wherever you please, and that you're the creator of your own reality.
Yeah.
You're the creator of your own thoughts, and you're the creator of your own world. And that the worlds wouldn't exist without your creation.
Yeah. So we dream them all up. We create them.
Yes,
Yeah.
collectively.
Actively. Yeah, excellent. I think most humans have forgotten that.
For thousands of years.
For thousands of years, yeah. But is part of this shift, is that to remember that?
It's to remember where you came from.
Yeah.
And to remember the abilities and the powers that you have held dormant inside of you.
Yeah.
And all of the humans are learning that now, they're awakening.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Why did you show us the life of the gray alien? What was the message from that life for Stephanie?
Advancement.
Mm-hmm. Is that the only other species that she has lives in? Or does she also hold an avatar on other planets and as other beings?
She holds many avatars on other planets.
Yes.
She has had many lives and is in many lives.
Yes.
As other species.
Yeah. Excellent.
That's why she feels, when she's driving in her car, that we're very behind.
Yes. Because she has these concurrent lives in these other species that are light years ahead of us, that zip around the universe using mind power.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
So she's like, wow, this is going very slow.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
This life was to show her why she feels this way.
Yeah.
And to also give her hope that the human race is evolving.
Yeah.
People are moving forward, and progress is progress, no matter how slow or fast it is.
Thank you. It's a very, very optimistic, positive message. Higher self, I'm sure you're aware that in our little pre-talk, in our interview, Stephanie shared with me that she has also always felt very different from other children, that she was aware that she was a so-called crystal child, a rainbow child. They're just names we give to things. I know they're sort of limiting. So is that correct, that she came in with that blueprint?
Yes.
Yes. So she is a very advanced human species already.
Yes.
She has more DNA activated?
Yes.
Yes. We thought so. It's wonderful. Now, a lot of these special children that of course are now growing up, these rainbow children, what is their role in the overall progress, in the ascension process? What is Stephanie's role in this?
Their role is to save the planet. Their role is to move the planet forward outside of a danger zone.
Mm-hmm. What is the danger zone?
Self-destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of compassion.
Yeah. Are we... Now we are aware of the fact that we exist, that there are timelines, that they create different outcomes.
Yes.
So are we still in the danger zone timeline, or have we passed?
We have shifted.
We have shifted, thank you.
We have shifted.
So we are on the right track.
Yes.
We are on the right timeline.
And we continue to shift.
And we continue to shift.
And things are happening right now that seem like they're negative. But this is an awakening, and this is happening for people to progress.
Yeah.
For people to see what's happening and to make a change.
Yes. Excellent. So what we perceive as negative and shocking
is not
events globally on our planet, they are here, they are happening for a very specific reason.
Yes.
So people see beyond the illusion.
Yes.
That they understand that they need to change.
Yes.
Wow. Is that also why there are so many what we humans call nature disasters, earthquakes, fires, volcanic eruptions?
There's a shift in the planet, in the polar axes.
Yeah.
And this shift is taking place now and has been taking place for 100 years.
Since 100 years.
It started 100 years ago.
Wow. Like in the early 1900s.
But
yeah.
the impacts are now.
But we are now beginning to feel the impact of it.
This is a natural flow of the earth.
Yes.
This has happened before.
Yes. The poles have shifted, huh? The shifted of the poles. And this is a slow process, or does this happen in an instant?
It starts slow, and the biggest shift happens instantaneously.
Okay, excellent.
Which causes very, very big weather changes, climate changes. Human beings are destroying the earth.
Yeah. And so the climate change that we are very, very visibly acknowledging and seeing, is this also, this is obviously partly man-made,
Yes.
but it's also at this very moment very much a part of the polar shifts.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's both.
It's both.
In different aspects.
In different aspects, yeah, I got that.
Cities will be revealed in the next 10 years.
Yes. Asian cities.
Yes.
Yeah. And where will they be located on our planet? These new cities?
Everywhere. One will be next to India.
Mm.
And another one will be close to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes. And the one by Bermuda Triangle, is that connected to Atlantis?
Yes.
Wow, fantastic.
It is.
It is. Yeah, I have a very strong connection to that.
Yes.
Does Stephanie also have a connection with Atlantis? Has she had lives in Atlantis?
Yes, she has.
Is it possible we share? Have we shared lives in Atlantis?
Yes, you have.
Yes. Thank you. It's always so funny when that happens.
It's crazy.
There's many of us and we are all old friends basically.
Yes.
And we are reconnecting and meeting again.
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. So higher self, Stephanie was already aware that she was probably more than just a human, and that there was a possibility that that her soul originates from another planet and maybe from a different galaxy. What could you tell us about that?
They come to planets like Earth to seek their DNA, to help advance, to help improve, to help evolve.
Yes.
The Earth, the humans on this Earth have been genetically altered, genetically
Modified. Yes. Over thousands of years, huh?
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands of years. Yeah. Yeah.
And they continue to be even in their waking life.
Yes.
It's important for these extraterrestrials to come, to shift human behavior. We're behind.
Yes, humans are behind.
They're very behind.
So it's about time we caught up with all the rest of our space brothers.
Yes.
Yes. But I think are we doing okay?
We're doing okay.
Yes.
Things have shifted in the past 10 years. And there is huge improvement. There's always room for improvement, but everyone needs to praise themselves for the improvement that's already taken place in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
We have had help from outside sources.
Could you name a few? What sources have helped us in this transition, in this shift? What species have helped us?
There's a tall blue species.
I've met some of them in the sessions. Yes. So they've been involved in the shift? Yes. Any other species?
Small greys.
Small greys.
And extraterrestrials from the galaxy of Andromeda.
From Andromeda?
Yes.
Yes. So exciting.
There are 18 species who have helped in some form or another.
Yes. In the past 10 years.
In the past 2000.
In the past 2000, thank you. In the past 2000 years.
Have positively helped.
Yes, have positively affected this change.
Exactly.
Wow. Higher self, how come most humans have never actually physically seen any of these beings? Some of us have, but they're a minority. Why is that? I know, and I am one of them. Many of us would so like for this to happen. So why has that not happened yet?
There have been a spike in extraterrestrial sightings. There are talks with governments that prevent species from other planets to be able to reveal themselves.
Is that the governments that prevent it?
Yes.
What kind of an agenda do they serve? Why would they prevent that?
They do not want the people to know
who they really are.
That there is contact with life on other planets.
Yes.
They want to keep this private.
Yes.
And they want to benefit from the technologies that extraterrestrials have to offer.
Yes.
The planet has more resources that can benefit the extraterrestrials.
So there is a trade-off.
So there's a trade-off.
Yes, I get it. Yeah. Well.
And in exchange, they allow extraterrestrials to sometimes experiment.
On humans.
On humans.
Yeah.
And on animals too. But sometimes humans in the government trick others into believing that there are abductions that then actually take place.
Wow, and how do they do that? How can they trick humans into believing there were abductions when in fact there never were?
They create situations where it seems and appears that there's an abduction that took place when in fact that abduction was not made by extraterrestrials.
But by government.
But by government.
Yes, I've had information about that. I'm a bit, I'm quite taken with the fact that this actually is true. And governments have also, human governments have also since a while have used technology that can implant memories. So the human really believes it had this experience, though in fact it's implanted.
Yes.
Yes.
And they do this with implants.
Yes. Is this still going on, or is that sort of ended, this dark practice?
It happened predominantly in the 90s and early 2000s. It's not happening as much anymore.
That is a relief, thank you. So, higher self, this is a wonderful talk. Is it true, or am I correct in my understanding that behind all the Earth global, behind the governments of the biggest countries in our world on Earth, there is different ET factions?
Yes.
Warring amongst each other?
Yes.
For Earth resources, for power, for all sorts of things.
Yes.
And that sometimes those allegiances change. So sometimes certain ET factions are working in secret together with the American government.
Yes.
And that it changes over time.
Yes.
And this happens behind the Russian government.
Yes.
The Chinese, the
yes.
Soviets, the Chinese.
Yes.
Which other big players are there? The UK? Britain has also ETs?
Very few, very little in Britain.
Very little in Britain.
Britain sends them to the United States.
Britain sends them to the United States, yeah.
So does France.
And France also sends them to the US?
They send them. They have sent them previously to the United States when they landed in their air force or in their
airspace.
In their airspace.
In France. They landed in France and they were redirected to. They said, "Okay, go hop over to America."
Yes. They don't do it always, but that happened.
What other countries have? Japan, maybe? What other major players on the global stage have ET factions interfering with them?
United States, Russia, UK and France have dealt with them previously and do, but not as big a scale as Russia and the United States. China, Japan,
Australia?
I'm not getting Australia.
Somewhere in Africa or in South America?
Africa.
Where in Africa?
In the south.
In South Africa.
Yes.
Yes. And that's also been going on, I think, for thousands of years, isn't it?
Yes.
They have had many ET contact. There is a lot of physical surface evidence, isn't it?
Yes.
All those round stone circles that they call kraals.
Yes.
That's all ET related, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. This is very exciting.
India.
India. Oh yes, I forgot that one. So India also. What are the ET factions connected to India?
The blue.
The blue beings.
The blue beings.
Okay. Okay. This is very fascinating. So higher self, does this is all this this meddling with the human governments, is this going to resolve anytime soon? Are they going to agree on, are they going to reach some sort of an agreement?
They have an agreement. They're trying to make our world one world.
Yes, this whole one world government scenario.
They are trying to solve the civil wars taking place on our world. And when we speak about civil wars, it's not about between country and country, it's human to human.
Yes.
On one planet, fighting each other for land.
Yeah.
These extraterrestrials are trying to create a one world, new world order to put us as one, because we are interfering. Our wars can cause damage.
On a galactic scale. On a cosmic level.
On a cosmic level.
So they cannot have us create another atomic explosion or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is this one world order, is this a positive timeline or is this not so positive? How do we need to see this?
It will not be easy for people living at the time that the shift takes place. And 100 to 200 years after this happens, generations will have forgotten about the conflicts that had to take place for this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They will be fine with it. The world will continue. So it's both. It's neither good nor bad.
But this is what is needed, the
It's
one
what is
world
needed.
order.
It's what will happen.
Yes. Will that also result in will we still have a kind of an economy? Will we have currency?
We will have one currency.
Will this be a physical? Will this be like legal tender, or will this be like a digital currency?
A digital currency.
Something like Bitcoin or Ethereum that we have now?
Yes.
These cryptocurrencies, as they are called, were they created by off-world species? And is this a government plan to regulate all the money streams?
They were inspired by ETs.
Yes.
And they were induced by the government.
Yeah.
Currently, the big countries, the big players are fighting over who has control over this new world order.
Yes. In this new world order, will there also be like a leader? A singular leader? How will this work?
It will start with with a leader from each nation to represent themselves in this cabinet, in this
world order thing. So every nation will have a representative.
But that will slowly deteriorate over time. And very soon after they create this cabinet of people, they will find that they need to bring about a leader to guide and to make decisions.
To govern
the world.
And that will be one person? Or more maybe like a council of elders? How will this look like? This future one world government, how will this look like?
I see 8 to 12 people.
Yeah, representing.
Taking control and representing. Over time, it will start with a lot more. Over time, the smaller countries will fall out until there are only 8 to 12 people who are making the decisions for the planet.
Yes.
But they're the I'm talking big decisions. There are a lot of people involved, a lot of politicians who are involved, but 8 to 12
will decide.
Will make decisions.
Yes.
Will act as leaders.
Yeah, okay. And these 8 to 12 people, how will they be elected? Is there an electional process? How do they get to be in this cabinet?
The humans will elect the people who will elect.
Yeah.
This is how it will happen.
Okay. And does this have is that like and forgive me for the simplistic nature of my question, but we're still in 3D and we live in a duality consciousness. Is this one world order government, is this positive? Is this for the light? Or is that still kind of service to self, let's say leaning towards the darker forces? And forgive my simplicity.
It's both.
It's both?
There's always a duality when it comes to human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Good comes out of it, bad comes out of it. Less war will take place once it happens. And there will be more unity between people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But dark forces are at play because people want power. And that's where the concept of a one world begins to get distorted.
Yeah.
And begins to dilute the message, the overall message dilutes itself when people want power and they become greedy.
Yeah.
That is our biggest flaw.
Yeah, that's our biggest flaw. I get it. Thank you. Higher self, could you humor me with one last question pertaining to that whole one world order sort of phenomenon?
Yes.
I have also read information on, let's say, the dark forces behind the global governments, that there is a scenario in which in the very near future they are going to produce a new, they call it a new Messiah, and that everyone needs to bow down and worship this being, and that this being would be a non-human being. Is this a valid scenario? Will they still try to push this on Earth?
No.
No. Have we shifted that timeline?
Yes. The way to shift it more is to understand how to love instead of worship God.
Yeah. Very well put.
This is where the shift will predominantly take place. And it is happening now. People are realizing worship is not love. Worship is not godly. It's not something that Creator, that God, that this light would want you to do.
But it is about finding divine light within ourselves, that we are not separate from.
The understanding that you are the light.
Yeah.
And that shift is taking place and will continue to take place.
Yeah, that is very, very exciting. Higher self, the last message you gave us about the non-worship, etc., that we need to understand as humans that we are the light, that worship is not divine, not godly, etc. That is a very definite move away from organized religion on Earth.
Yes.
Is that where the biggest resistance and therefore the biggest transformation needs to take place?
Yes.
Throughout all the world religions?
Yes.
Yes. Because this is completely contrary to the message that religion is enforcing on human beings.
Yes. Human beings, they find ways to create divide amongst each other in order to best categorize themselves and define themselves and understand themselves. Organized religion is one of those means of dividing and one of those means of control and power. When organized religion is released, is no longer used as a form of power and belief
and control. Yeah, yeah.
And when spirituality, when love will drive unity. Power and control creates divide.
Yes.
And how do these people create power and control in their hands? Is by implementing fear.
Yes.
Which is just the polar opposite of love.
Yes.
And fear creates the divide. Fear is the driving force for anything that is happening that is of low vibration in this planet.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we got that.
It's about shifting to love.
Mm-hmm. And fear is not real.
Fear
It is like a program that has been implanted within us.
the same
Most
way
humans. Yeah.
darkness is the lack of light.
Yeah.
Fear is the lack of love.
Love. Yeah.
It's just lack, which we don't want anymore.
Yeah. Fantastic. Higher self, how long in human time, how long will this shift need? How long is it going to last before we have overcome the limitation of organized religion, etc.?
25 years.
It's about 25 years.
Yes.
Yes. Question before we move to the personal questions of Stephanie. My teacher Dolores has coined the term New Earth. I'm sure you're aware of this. How does so the way I understand it is that Earth is actually splitting in two. So there's going to be, let's say, the old 3D Earth is going to continue on its own timeline, dealing with all the wars and the pollution and the destruction. And then there is a new Earth being birthed. We are in, let's say, the gestational, in the Genesis period of this new Earth that exists within the higher dimensions, upper fourth, lower fifths, and up from there. I also understand that many of the awakened people at this moment on surface Earth will actually transition to that new Earth. What could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes.
Thank you.
This new Earth is what people have misconstrued as Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
It will take place. There will be very apparent signs that people will notice of this shift.
Yeah.
Because the veil will thin, and we will begin to see more and more past the third plane, past the third dimension.
Yes.
Because we will also be shifting into more multi-dimensional beings.
Yes.
This will be gradual, and it will be apparent, and it will grow more and more apparent over generations.
Mm-hmm.
It is happening. An essence of you, of us, will also split from the other planet.
From the old Earth.
Yes. But that will make you no less whole.
Mm-hmm.
And your consciousness will shift with whatever vibration you hold.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be so smooth that a lot of people wouldn't have even noticed it. Although they'll see changes.
Mm-hmm.
Our senses will become enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Our skills in communicating non-verbally will improve dramatically. And our intuition will go so strong that we will feel things we never thought we could feel.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have less emotion, as an emotion in a more negative context than we do now. We'll be able to look at things more
Balanced.
balanced, with a lot more with a lot more understanding of why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm. So truly evolving.
We will be evolving
Yes.
at a very rapid pace.
Yeah.
The evolutionary process slowed down for quite some time. And it will pick back up now.
Yeah. Excellent. And so that part of our essence that will split off, that is the part that will basically re-emerge on this so-called new earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to remember something. Our earth is constantly splitting.
Into many versions of itself.
Many versions of
Yes.
itself.
Thank you.
Because every person and every situation that is possible to happen and that has happened and that could possibly happen in the future is constantly being split depending on what decisions are being made.
Mm.
And is further even being split every time we move forward from the past to the present to the future.
Mm.
It's as though the earth is echoing.
Yeah.
And every time it moves forward, every time the next second takes place, we are splitting. So the split's always taking place. It's just going to be in a completely different way. That's what the new earth is.
Wow.
It's a shift within a shift.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Higher Self. This was wonderful information. And really, I couldn't thank you enough. Very clear.